a platinum partner. So we're, part of being able to bring that value to Africa is the very close relationship and strategic relationship we have with Adobe, who's represented by Graham this afternoon, and are kind of working together with them to bring best of breed product to market, and being able to support that going forward through training and support and so on. I think if I can perhaps just move on to the value that where we provide value. If I could kind of categorize it into components. The first is bringing the tools that enable the realization of that potential. So we call that the technology. That's the tools that you're going to see demonstrated and taught today, and the power of AI baked into best of breed creative tools and document tools that comes in the Adobe standard. And just to give you a bit of a sense of the robustness of those, Adobe spent $4.3 billion last year in R&D. That's last year alone. You can imagine that the journey that we're on and the path that we're on with such a reputable and significant partner in the world in being able to bring those tools in an affordable way and a practical way to our continent. Where Learning Curve steps in then is helping with the adoption of those and sharing skills and the ability to use and get the best out of the tools that we provide. And that we look at three primary user groups. One is the students, and being able to allow the students to, one, work through the significant work volume that you have, but also being able to kind of tell a story in a very creative way, and how that story, the mode of that story is changing over time. And we need to be relevant on a global market and a global platform or global stage, and it's being able to help achieve that. We also, the second user group that we work with is institutions themselves, in being able to digitize and modernize the operations through these very same technologies. But as I mentioned, there is this ongoing evolution of these products, and Adobe is bringing the latest to market all the time. So it's about being able to help our clients and our users of our software stay abreast of the changes in the technologies and the features that are coming down the track. So it's an ongoing information and teaching process. And then the third element, which is this last bullet point, is the change management. So we don't want to just convert paper to digital. We want to look at, and the whole way that AI works is, how do we do things better? How do we do things smarter? How do we do things more accurately and faster? How do we, because we learn in different ways and we write in different ways and we express ourselves in different ways, how do we kind of evolve with the market and the demands of the workplace and so on? So we love to think that our journey started 20 years ago, but our journey continues every single day. There's an evolution, and we love, many of our clients have been with us this entire time, and we love that partnering that we get to do, and the wonderful people we get to meet along the way and support through the process. So thank you. I think that's over to Carla.
Thank you very much, Glenn. Thank you very much for that overview. So on that note, ladies and gentlemen, we'll move to the very first presentation. The very first presentation, which is on the employability gap, gaining in-demand skills with Adobe tools. And that will be handled by Graham Trick. Graham Trick, also from Adobe. And just a quick bio of Graham, if I may, before he goes ahead with the presentation. Graham is a passionate advocate of EdTech and education account executive at Adobe. He's focused on ensuring educators get the best out of Adobe. His mission is to support your institute in achieving your vision for educating young people. Before joining Adobe in 2022, Graham worked with one technology deployments as the Director of Education with an education software platform and as the lead professional development consultant at an Adobe partner in the UK. Graham has a vast experience working with senior leaders at institutes and districts, supporting long-term strategies and professional learning. Prior to this, Graham worked as a teacher for 16 years with a passion for integrating technology into geography lessons. Graham has served as a postgraduate certificate education tutor, working with a UK university as an associate lecturer and as a freelance education consultant to the Geographical Association. Graham has also held training accreditations from Apple and Microsoft. So, our distinguished guests, let's welcome Graham for our very first presentation. Thank you very much. Graham, over to you.
Well, thank you for the introduction. And hopefully right now you'll be able to see my screen. If somebody could give a thumbs up on Teams, that'll be fantastic, and then I know I'm good to go. Thank you, Vicky. So with that introduction, I had prepared a little slide myself, and I just want to give you a quick note why I'm here. You know, I spent 16 years as a teacher before joining Adobe, so when I'm talking, I'm thinking about it from not just the Adobe side of things, but also from your side of the conversation as educators. So in terms of who I am, this just gives a little bit extra there. And you know, whether I'm talking to students, faculty, or campus leaders, three challenges do come up over and over again internationally, and students are feeling disengaged on campus and disconnected from the community as a whole, which can affect both academic performance and retention. And we've done we've got some statistics on this slide which you know speak to the story, with over a third of undergraduates being uninvolved with campus outside of classes, not enriching their experiences by joining clubs and organizations, not picking up research opportunities or even a paid position or a volunteering position within the campus. And academically, too many students are struggling to keep up or stay on track to graduate due to their low engagement with course materials and assignments. And 41% of undergraduates say they're not engaged with classes, and they're citing boredom as a big barrier. And then there's the job market, where students worry they won't have the skills for future careers. And indeed, 52% of recent college graduates in the US are classed as underemployed, sorry, and doing jobs that don't require a degree. And this issue around these issues and equity of access all compound all of these challenges. And in the age of AI, institutions are struggling to increase that engagement, that build that resilience and persistence and career readiness amongst their students. And teaching students to use AI effectively can help address those three issues. However, lack of consistency around adoption, usage, and the preparedness makes it more difficult to address those challenges. For example, when it comes to AI tools, consider the statistic that's just popped up around from our creativity and AI report. 61% of faculty users and faculty staff are hesitant in adopting AI tools. And then look at the quote below from Forbes. 71% of leaders are less likely to hire are more likely to hire a less experienced candidate with AI skills than a more experienced one without them. Now, that second statistic can be taken one of two ways. It can be either a threat or an opportunity to the courses that you run. Those institutes with low adoption of AI-led tools and more traditional curricula in terms of how it's taught will see statistics like this as a threat to their courses. Whereas those who are embracing technology and the AI era will see this as an opportunity for their graduates to enter the workplace and also improve their reputation as leading on innovative courses in higher education. At Adobe, we've been at the forefront of innovation through every recent technology era, starting at the internet era, where that was where I came into my teaching. My first experiences with Adobe were building really bad websites in Dreamweaver to use in geography lessons. And if we fast forward to now, we're here in the AI revolution that's happening. We're supporting both business professionals and creative professionals in their day-to-day work, improving both productivity and creativity in both fields. And we want to partner with universities to support your journey into the AI era. We're taking an ethical and responsible approach to doing this, especially when it comes to developing our generative AI models. Our models enable students to create high quality, commercially safe content. It helps them to visualize ideas and communicate complex information with impact. We're also supporting on Canvas. The next few slides are from our latest research, and it was conducted by Endelman and ran across all disciplines and consisted of interviews with 1,900 students and 900 early career alumni. It was a global study across several regions. And the results stand out. And it showcases that when Adobe software is used and used within our Creative Campus program, where all staff and all students are covered with either Creative Cloud or Adobe Express, engagement increases. And I love this quote from the report, where Sam really highlights the benefit of the Adobe apps in supporting collaboration and authentic learning experiences within business classes. Throughout the report, there are a lot of compelling stories and statistics, and here you can see that both Adobe Express and Creative Cloud have supported with the communication of ideas. The most surprising one for me as a geography teacher is the Creative Cloud stat, which shows 92% of respondents said that Creative Clouds helped them to communicate ideas and class assignments or presentations in social sciences. That was a curveball when I read that, and that's why I keep that one in this presentation deck, because it rings true to home for me. And this continues into the academic outcomes, where students who took part in the research reported improved academic performance and improved quality of work. This was mirrored both across campuses who cover all staff and students and those who don't. I'm just going to leave it there for a couple of seconds. Developing authentic learning experiences that use the same software that's used in industry is really important. And within the study, we've seen an acceleration in students who, in finding their first full-time role as they enter their careers. The institutes have access to our software to develop their skills, their portfolios, giving them an advantage over others applying for the same jobs. And you can see here in terms of communication and design majors and our business majors with a 14 to 15% faster employment rate. And that boils down to almost half a month to a month. Given that AI equity and access are essential to institute success, Adobe offers plans that you can flexibly mix and match to give everyone on campus the right tools for their specific needs. In later sessions, you're going to see firsthand the potential of the Adobe apps, whether it's Adobe Express for developing visual communication skills across any discipline, or Creative Cloud giving industry standard creatives authentic learning experiences and opportunities to experience AI production that mirrors that used in industry. Or on a simple level, redefining how you engage with academic research and share course reading materials through PDF spaces and student spaces. One common theme across higher education is that each institute that adopts the Adobe ecosystem of apps is unique. They serve different communities, they have different visions, they have different strategies to achieve their goals. When you see the demonstrations in the later sessions, I'd love for you to think how you could use it within your subject area, how you could improve learning, research, or day-to-day operations on your campus. Focus on how you can mirror industry workflows and develop use cases and learning experiences that are authentic. We want you to have ideas. We want you to be confident that you're developing the skills of your students and giving them the tool set to succeed in their future careers. As the webinar progresses, think about how you will adopt the Adobe ecosystem and how it can support you to address some of the previous mentioned issues. You'll see later on through PDF spaces and student spaces that there are new ways to use AI to take old passive reading of journals and use of documents into new interactive ways of engaging with research, journals, and policy documents. You all know and love our flagship apps. Now you can do things that you've never done before. This slide here exemplifies the ways that Firefly is already automating mundane tasks so that creativity and output can flow faster. So you can concentrate on the better end products and design and learning experiences that develop skills that employers value. As well as new ways of working to inspire creativity, using the Adobe apps helps students to understand the importance of content credentials and how to apply them to combat misinformation and learn how to create branded content that can be safely scaled across all teams within a company. You'll be mirroring how we see our commercial customers working on a day-to-day basis using our apps. Also, keeping the point that the Gen AI doesn't replace their creativity. It helps students to accelerate their ideas. They never lose their creative control because they can refine anything and generate with precision. Sitting behind the Firefly-driven features are a set of ethics and principles, and they're highlighted on this slide. A few really important ones that I want to mention here are ones around Firefly models. They're only trained on licensed material and public domain content. The other really important thing is around the features that we developed. And they're not released without going through impact assessments and going to have human oversight through Adobe's AI Ethics Review Board. And finally, we're driven to help authentic storytelling and content credentials provide clear provenance to trust the content you are viewing. And it works both ways, because especially on the occasions where you might not want AI to be used. At Adobe, our integrated partner models do not use institutional content to train the Gen AI models. The partner models are accessed through Adobe's secure integration layer, and Adobe remains committed to developing Firefly as a commercially safe generative AI foundation. Capability expansion does not compromise institutional data protection. And I just want to finish off by saying, we hope that you walk away knowing that Adobe is committed to working with institutes to ensure our products help students prepare and excel for the age of AI. We're making sure that they are equipped with the best of the best when it comes to creative tools, and it puts them squarely on a successful career path. We will continue to innovate on the AI front to free up their imagination and creativity while also increasing productivity, both of which give students a competitive edge. The results: students will graduate with standout portfolios demonstrating these career-ready skills and get noticed. I'd just like to say thank you there.
Thank you very much, Graham, for that insightful presentation. I think my key take is that with Adobe, your data is protected and doesn't use your institutional data to train its AI. So at this point, if there are any questions, we'd like to take them. You can as well drop them in the comment section and we'll be glad to read them for you. So kindly show by hand if you have any question so Graham can address them within the next 5 minutes. Please show by hand and you'll be called upon.
One thing I will do is I'll make sure I post the link to the two reports that I've used as the basis for a lot of the statistics in the presentation. So you'll have access to those after the webinar. And equally, with this being an overview, you probably want to get to the action of the demo. So I'm equally happy if there's no questions.
Sure. Thank you very much, Graham. So just as Graham said, without any question, we'll move straight into the very first live demonstration of today's session. And that will be handled by Carla Raff, will handle that, and she'll be doing that in the second presentation on the topic AI for Everyday Productivity, Acrobat Studio live demonstration, working smarter with documents. So by way of introduction, Carla has over 20 years of experience in Adobe Solutions, and she's passionate and creative. She's a passionate and creative industry expert and Adobe ambassador dedicated to empowering individuals and organizations through practical, role-specific training. Her journey spans running her own training company, serving as a senior solutions consultant at Adobe across Sub-Saharan Africa, and founding Magenta SA, where she delivers flexible, customized training and consulting across Adobe Creative Cloud, Document Cloud, AI tools, and e-learning solutions. As an Adobe certified instructor and award-winning trainer, she remains committed to helping others unlock the full potential of Adobe tools through hands-on learning and real-world application. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Carla for our very first live demonstration. Over to you, Carla. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that introduction. If you can just give me a thumbs up if you can see my screen. Can everybody see, can you see my screen? Just let
We
me
can.
know.
Thank you, Paula.
Okay,
Yes, I
perfect.
can.
Thank you.
Yes.
All right. So I am so excited to be able to show you what is included within Adobe Acrobat Studio and how it can assist you, whether you are a lecturer, whether you are a student, whether you are within the admin space. So I just wanted to reiterate something because because Adobe Acrobat Studio is made up of a number of tools. So yes, you have the full range of Adobe Acrobat Professional, which allows you to be able to edit PDF documents, to be able to compare documents, to be able to send documents for signature. I'm not going to be focusing on that today. What I am going to be looking at is the PDF spaces that are available. I'm going to be looking at Adobe's AI Assistant, which is a chat interface within the Acrobat Studio environment where you can, together with PDF spaces, include up to 100 different documents of about 600 pages each. So that gives you up to 6,000 pages. You can include URLs in there. You can include text in there if you want to. Maybe not all your languages are in English, so you could have some multilingual documents like English, like French, depending on what it is, and be able to pull all the insights that you need to be able to quickly generate content. So whether it is to create a study guide, whether it is to be able to create questions or quizzes for some of the content that you are trying to create, whether you need to quickly summarize a document and be able to quickly generate a presentation from that, and then the ability to be able to, text to image. Now, I will be doing the PDF spaces, I'll be showing you the student spaces, and my colleague Di will be showing you Adobe Express afterwards. And with Acrobat Studio, you have integration into Adobe Express. Now, I know that Graham did mention, but I just wanted to just reiterate before I start that your data is not used to train any other large language models. So whatever you are providing within your PDF space stays within that space. It is, whether it is spaces or the AI assistant, it is not looking anywhere else on your computer, on your network, and it is definitely not teaching ChatGPT and all of those, right? You have control over who can enable or disable the storing of the chat history. There are verifiable attributions here, so you can go and see exactly which document it's cited when creating the content, so it is not hallucinating in any way. And of course, in an institutional level, you can decide who has access to this functionality and who does not. And it's really, really easy to be able to deploy. So I'm going to start off here. Let me just get my little pointer on here. Right, so we have PDF spaces. There are some curated spaces that are available for you already, but we're going to just jump ahead here, and we're actually going to go and create a new PDF space. So we can call this whatever we want to be able to call it, and I'm going to quickly jump to my device, and I am just going to go and select some files here that I would like to use to be able to generate questions. So let's use something maybe in French and some other documents here that we could possibly use. I'm just going to use these for now. And while these are uploading, you can see here at the bottom, it is telling me I've got 97 documents that are still remaining. Now, even though I have uploaded PDFs to my environment, I could have uploaded an Excel document, a Word document, a text file. I could go and paste a web link if I needed to, and I could also go and place some text. And if I've got any kind of storage space that I am connecting to, so whether you are using Google Drive, OneDrive, or SharePoint, if I have those connections, I can pull documents from there as well. So I'm not doing that at the moment, and I'm just going to generate this PDF space. Now, this is the part that is different from Acrobat Professional. So what it is actually doing here is it is having all my documents and an overview of whatever it is that I am creating. And what is nice about this is I can go and share this space either with students or with other colleagues that are needing to see this particular space, and also be able to use the AI assistant within there. So let's go in here. I can go under share. I've currently got 3 files, and of course I can go and decide, you know, who has access to this. So there is some kind of granular controls over this. So I could share anybody with the link, so that could be a student, or I could invite the students to my space, or anyone within my organization that I would like to use. What I could also do here is I could say what they are capable of doing. Can they only add comments, or add and remove files and notes, or am I going to restrict them to just one or the other? So I'm going to make this space now available, and I can of course go and choose how I would like to share this, and I can even share it via WhatsApp, which is a really new feature that has been made available here. So I could copy the link, and they can just access this through the browser. And as they start joining this particular space, I will be able to see here at the top, I will get little icons for everybody that is going to be doing that. Now, I can do a couple of things here. So let's say, for example, I need to brand this. So I could go in here and I could go and choose a logo. So I am just going to quickly upload a logo here that I have. Let's quickly, sorry, I had one here a moment ago. Just let me find it quickly. I do apologize for this. I did have it and I have subsequently misplaced it. So just bear with me a second. Can't find the logo. Let's quickly find another one. While I'm doing this, when Di deals with her section, she will be able to show you exactly you know, how you can brand your other content. So I'm just going to quickly maybe just zoom this a little bit smaller here. My logo is a little bit too big here. I do apologize for that, but let me go and add it. So you're going to see here now, my logo will start appearing at the top over here. And it's basically given me a nice little headline. I could go and do in here. I could go and add any other text or any other files that I would like to do from this perspective. Here I've got the files that I have uploaded. Remember, you can have as many as you like. And what it has gone and done is it has gone and created an auto summary. So what is nice about this is if you do have students that are visually impaired, they can go
We're looking
and
at a set of
play
documents
this.
covering human
I'm hoping you
diseases
can hear
caused by
this.
viruses and prions, recent data on chikungunya outbreaks.
Right, so you can see, and what's nice about this is I can actually go and show the transcripts. So if I'm not happy with this, I can go and edit this in any way and change the audio summary. It's also great if you have hectic traffic like we have here in Cape Town and in Johannesburg, you could always make this available and be able to access it from your mobile device, and then you'd be able to hear that while you're sitting in traffic. All right, so from the files that I've got, I can always go and add any additional files if I need to. I can do this, and I'm going to now switch over to the other side. This is my AI assistant. So straight away, it has picked up who I am, and it is going to generate some questions or insights that I could possibly pull from the documents that I have already uploaded. So let me go and ask it a question, right? So I'm just going to paste my question in there, and I am now going to go and see what it's come up with. Try and be specific in your prompting on what it is that you would like it to do. So I am asking it for the differences between human disease transmission, airborne versus direct contact, and I've asked it to output it as a particular table for me, right? You can see here that it is citing any of the content that it is creating, and you can see here that it has taken it from 2 different sources within any one particular document or multiple documents. And if I click on that, it is actually going to take me to where that citation comes from directly within that particular document. Now what I could go and do here at the bottom is I could decide, oh, maybe I need to keep this as a note. So I'm going to save this as a note. And you will see here in a moment, those notes will come up. There's also going to be the ability to copy this in case I need to make a summary of something and be able to copy and paste it into an email or into a different Word document or something along those lines. All right, so now it's come up here with, can it give me some more prompts that I could go and use? So maybe, yes, I do want to be able to explain the prevention strategies. So if there are any in the document, I can then go and access this as well. So you can see it's working through the documents nice and quickly, which makes it easier than having to read through all of this content. Right, so even like an administration, if you've got or research and you're working through documents, you can do this kind of thing. Now, let's say, for example, I would like to, so before I get to that, your AI assistant can have multiple personalities. So, for example, I could say here at the moment, it's just been a general personal assistant kind of personality. I could go into analysis. So this is going to be a more critical kind of thinker, uncovering assumptions and making connections in the various documents. Entertainer would be more witty and compassionate. Instructor, facilitator, or a professor. So I'm now going to change over to that particular personality. Let's call it that. And if I go in here, let's say, for example, I need to generate some quizzes here for a student assessment. So I am now going under the under the instructor personality, and I've asked it a question here. And what I'm asking it is for multiple choice questions. So, and also to indicate which is the correct answer. So by doing this now, here you can see it has quickly come up with 10 questions for me, and it is indicating which is the correct answer. I can now again copy and paste this or save it as a particular note. And any of these notes that I am creating are going to be shared with anybody that I have shared this space with. Right. Let's say, for example, I don't like any of these personalities. Perhaps I want to have, maybe you're a researcher and you want to be able to create your own personality as a researcher. Or in my instance, I'm going to create a personality of my own, and I'm going to say I am a micro um, biology student. All right, and I could put in a description here. So I need to be able to maybe create study guides. Maybe I want to be able to have flashcards. Maybe I need to have summaries. So you can put whatever your job description is, or whatever the kind of information is that you want here. And I can even try and generate the instructions using AI. I'm just going to save it as it is. And you can have as many different personalities as you want to, or roles, let's call it that way. So now you can see here at the bottom is I am now taking on this particular persona, and maybe what I want to have here is I want to be able to go and create a quick little study guide of certain number of diseases. I know what's in my content, and it is going to quickly generate those kind of things. Right. So here we go. It's busy generating it. It's given me some questions and answers. Okay. And I'm just waiting. I want to just be able to create a note from it. Here you can see again, it is citing different documents. So I'm going to save this as a note. And what I'm going to do with some of this is I'm going to quickly be able to generate a presentation from this. But before we do that, I just want to be able to show you the notes here. You can see I've got different notes. So let's say, for example, I'm going to just open this one, and by clicking on it I can maybe call it airborne versus direct contact transmission, because I'd like those people that I'm sharing this with to be able to know what this is all about. So you can see there are different ways that you can do this. Right, so first one is the overview. Right, the second one are the files. Maybe I want to add a couple more. So I want to show you something else here before I make a presentation. I'm going to open up this particular document over here, and I can even go and translate this. So let's say, for example, let's go, sorry, let me download it quickly a moment. Download it as a PDF. I'm just going to save it to my desktop. It's just a web page that I took in French that I would like to be able to have some more information about. So let's go here. I'm just going to open it. Give me a second. Right, so I have a number of AI options that are available. Generate a presentation. I can use my AI assistant. I can create a generative summary of this particular document. So it's taking this document. If I ask it questions in French, then it will generate information for me in French. But what you can go and see here is it has actually gone and translated this particular document in English for me so that I can understand exactly what the content is in this particular document. I could then maybe ask it questions in French, get French answers. I could go and answer it in English. So let's maybe go and give it some more. You'll notice that when it is doing the translation, it is not giving the citations, because remember, the citations will take me to the French version. So that is just one element there. Okay, so while that is done, here you can see in English, oh, they've updated it. You can see it is taking me to the various places. All right, so now I want to quickly be able to generate a presentation. All right, so I have got one of my notes here. So let's go and choose this one that I have over here. And I can go and do a number of things. So I could go and do a presentation. Sorry. Just opened it in the wrong document. There we go. This is what I'm looking for. All right, so now what I could go and do is, you can see it's looking at the 3 files I had in my PDF space, and I could go and say, first of all, who is this going to go to? So maybe I want it to be 2 to 5 short little slides. Maybe who's the audience going to be? Maybe it's going to be to medical students. Maybe I want to have some concise slides on the information, and I could say here, create a summary presentation on, let's say, for example, I've got here all of the information on the chikungunya virus. All right. And now I can go and say continue. I have got up to 1,000 words that I can use to be able to explain what it is that I want. Now I need to choose the type of presentation that I would like it to be. So let's say, for example, I like this one. I'm going to go and choose that. All right, and now I'm going to ask it to generate my presentation for me. You will notice that the images that it is going to generate should be related to the topic of my PDF space. So just give it a moment. So just while I'm waiting for that a moment, I will come back to that. I just want to show you the student spaces. All right. So this is, and if Graham, if I could just ask you maybe to put the link in the chat for everybody. This is currently in beta, and this gives you the ability to be able to create lots of different types of study tools that you can share your content with your students. So anything from flashcards to quizzes to study guides, mind maps, there are a whole lot of options that are available. There are even some pre-existing ones. So this is one that is on the Best Fit internship. And you can see there is a whole lot of information there. There's a podcast that they can listen to. There's a study guide. I can even go and view all the spaces. So let me create a new one. So let's go in here and create a student space. Right, so what is this going to be? So this is going to be, let's go and get the sources. So I'm just clicking here on the side, and I'm going to drag and drop in here some of my files into the space. So it's very much the same as what I was showing you in Acrobat Studio, but this is specifically for students. It's saying, okay, this particular document it doesn't like, so let me remove that file, and maybe we can go and add a different file here. And let's let's use this. I'm going to just add a couple of that. Here we go. So once I've done that, I can then see here what is it that I would like to generate from this particular content that I would like. So my sources, sorry, I'm in the wrong one. Where did the other one go? I think I accidentally closed that file. Just give me a second. We'll just do another one. Let's just go back. Okay, so here's the one I'm doing today. Let's go in there. Right, here are the files that I had uploaded. All right, and now I can go and choose the study tools that I would like to use. So they have got some pre-existing ones here. So let's go and say, all right, we would like to create maybe some flashcards. So again, it's looking within this space. Right, and here you go, it's got 9 of them that are available, and you can see here it is now, well, it's gone up to 20, and I can now go through each one, and I can then go and check what that particular answer is at that particular point in time. Right, maybe I want to have another one, so let's go up again. Maybe this time I want to generate a mind map. And of course, all of these are editable, so you can go in there and be able to change the content as you need to. While that is generating the mind map, I just want to go back to my little presentation. So here you can see it's talking about the chikungunya virus. It has gone and created, let's maybe put this into present mode. So you can see it has now gone and pulled all the information from the documents about that, and it's generated some imagery for me. If I don't like the imagery, because it is in Adobe Express, Guy will actually show you how to be able to edit and change that. Right, so let me just jump back here. Let's just see if this is finished. Let's view my, let's actually just open this up. Right, so now you can go and see it has now gone and created a mind map for me on all the different elements that are needed. So before I take any questions, I just wanted you to all know that there is a competition that is today for some Creative Cloud Pro Plus licenses. The details will be put into the chat pod, so you can just check in the chat pod for some more information. Thank you, Vicky, for doing that. So are there any questions from anybody on the PDF spaces as such? Remember, I have not gone into within the Acrobat environment the ability to be able to connect to your various PDF spaces and your link into the Adobe Express and being able to add images and cover pages and all of that. But yes. You just check in the chat if there are any questions.
The chat's pretty clean color.
Sure. There was a question from Ayeluta, and I don't know, I think Graham answered it to a certain extent. I don't know if you'd like to touch on that. It was, is there a free plan for the Adobe AI platform? I think so far that's the only question there. I don't know if you'd like to touch a bit on that.
Not from a Acrobat Studio perspective, the student spaces that I have been showing you now, that is currently in public beta, that is available. So that is something that you can have a look at. Okay.
Okay, thank you. And there's a question from Ricky. How many files can you upload into a PDF space?
So into the PDF spaces, you can upload up to 100 different files, and they can be up to 600 pages each. So that gives you up to 6,000 pages of content that you can use to be able to summarize and pull the information that you want to from that particular document.
Okay. I think there are no questions in the chats again.
Okay. Thank you very much. I'll hand back over to you.
Thank you very much, Carla. Thank you so much for that presentation. So, as you go along, try to guess if there's any question, kindly show by hand, and we'll be happy to call you so you can ask the question yourself, or you might as well put it in the chat, and we'll be happy to read them for you. So, going to very next live demonstration, which will be handled by Guy Frost, an Adobe product expert, and he'll be doing the demonstration on the Adobe Express, just as Carla mentioned. So just a quick one about Dai. Dai is a learning curve Adobe product expert, passionate about helping people get real value from their tools rather than simply delivering software. Dai focuses on guiding users through how to use it effectively in their day-to-day work. So Dai is going to be showing us the Adobe Express and how to create some creative assets. Dai, over to you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for that intro. Very kind words. So hopefully I live up to them. But yeah, I'm just going to share my screen quickly. And as Carla mentioned, I will be showing you Adobe Express. Just a reminder again, there is a competition. You can win one of 10 free licenses for Creative Cloud Pro Plus. So just enter at the link in the chat and you'll be able to fill in a form and then you'll be able to enter. All right, so what I'm going to focus on is showing you how students can go from being a student to standing out, getting employed. We're also going to look at a bit of entrepreneurship and just making sure that they can stand out where it matters. As we all know, the job market has changed a lot. We've got the traditional side of jobs, and we've also got, you know, side hustles. We've got podcasting. We've got all types of entrepreneurship. So before I start showing you the product, I just want to explain why it's important to stand out and why this visibility matters. So obviously when employers are hiring people, they want to see what you can do. So, you know, as much as you need clear communication and a presence and visibility, a lot of people want to see what you can do rather than what you say you can do. As Graham mentioned earlier, you can say you can use AI, but you need to show me that you can use it and prove yourself there. And a lot of employers are looking at what you've created before they even look at your CV anymore. And, you know, if we are realistic, people get hundreds of CVs. They don't all get looked at. There's a lot of AI written stuff out there that just gets thrown out immediately. So it's very important to focus on what it looks like and what your students are saying. You also need to get your ideas out there. So, you know, if you're a strong thinker, it's kind of wasted if no one can see your work, see what you're doing. If you haven't built up a portfolio of some kind, no one's going to know what you can do outside of an academic institution, which is then going to limit you as you try and get employed in the future. And then obviously just showing the proof that you can do what you say you can do. So we're going to go through how you can use AI and Adobe Express to create that tangible evidence and show employers what you're capable of, and just having that body of work behind you to prove it, so that showing you can walk the walk. So obviously in terms of the employability gap, so there's a lot of strong thinking and weak showing. So as much as students can deeply analyze things, they may struggle to communicate this or show it, as I said, outside of an academic environment. Also, good work loses impact when it stays in an academic format only. So perhaps they've worked on a project and it's a really, really great idea, but they haven't put that, it's just in a kind of written document. They haven't put that in a nice presentation or posted it on LinkedIn or got it out there into the world to see. Also, that work disappearing after grading. You hand in an assignment and you forget about it and you don't realize that you could use that to build something for your portfolio as you want to go forward in developing your career or starting out. So you don't want things like PDFs or anything to just sit on your desktop. There's something that you can do with them. Again, just showing that those visible skills and building up confidence in your students or yourself, just to show that your progress or show what you're capable of and getting that recognition that you deserve. So with that, I'm going to show you Adobe Express. And you should be able to see the platform here now. Ta-da! It's all there. As you can see, it's quite a simple interface. There's quite a few search functions. If you're not sure where to start, you can search for templates here, and there'll be kind of drop downs there. It's the same function over here on the left with this plus sign, and everything's broken down into different categories. So there's social media and ads, video, photos, documents. You can even make web pages and then onto marketing. But because there's so much that you can do in this tool, I'm going to break it down into traditional job applications and then more of the entrepreneurial side of things as we go along. So just to show you what I've done before, here's one I made before our session. If we think of traditional job applications, we obviously need a resume or a CV. And here is my CV that I made in Adobe Express. I know what you're all thinking. Wow, I really want to hire her. This looks amazing. This really didn't take me long. I used an Adobe Express template and it just came out in a really, really nice way. I've applied my brand and everything that I will show you in a bit, because we obviously need to have a brand with all of this. But this template was literally, if I search for it back here, I want a resume template. So I'll type in resume and see what it comes up with. And it's just taking a little while to load. But you can see it's brought up all of the templates that it has in Adobe Express here. There are tons of different layouts that you can choose from. I'm just going to click View All, and I will take you down to the one that I edited, which is just a bit further down than this. And there we go. This is the one that I edited. It also gave me my inspiration for the colors that I wanted and the colors that I've kept consistent across my branding and everything you're going to see today. And all I did was choose this template. I customized it. And instead of being Matthew Smith, creative designer, it became Die Frost. Everything in this template is editable. So from these bits here, if I don't like this color, perhaps I'd like more of a blue color, I can change that. If I don't like that, or I want something that's not in this template, I can customize it and just drag the color across there. Maybe make it a bit lighter. The blue doesn't go with the green, so I could change that as well. And perhaps make it a bit of an orangey color, and then just change out the photo. Obviously, all of this text is editable. And now it's frozen as I try and click it. But all of this text is editable here. There's this element of this line here. I'm not really enjoying it, so I'm just going to delete that by just clicking delete. And now I can change all of my information. I can change my skills, my languages, and I could even add on another page if there's not enough room. So I'll keep it the same size, and I can keep it blank, or if I'd like to keep and start from scratch, or if I'd like to keep the same structure, I just simply click here and I can duplicate that and then edit it as I go. Obviously, I wouldn't want my photo on both pages, so I just delete that And at the end of the day, when I've done editing everything, I could also add in some content. So if I wanted to add in elements like little icons, so let's say I want to show a computer for my skills, I can just simply grab any of these icons. I can change the color of it. So before I put on the orange and it disappears, it's brought up the colors that I'm already using. I want the blue from the top just to keep consistency. It's too big for what I want, so I just literally drag it and change it, and then I can have a little bit of a different flair on this page, have my skills in there. If I don't want to have a photo of myself, I could add any media from here. I could just search for, let's say, another computer, or rather, let's say I want to be employed at a radio station. So I would say radio. And I could add in photos, I could add in videos, I could even add in music and sound effects if I wanted to. And I can scroll through these here. I could generate an image. So this is a simple AI prompt, and I can choose my size. And I'll just say I want a square one, and I will say generate an image of a radio on air. Use bright colors, and I'll just click generate. I could choose whether I want it to be art, a photo, a graphic. I'll go with a graphic. If I had reference images I wanted to use or composition, I could add those too, and it would use that as a nice guide. And then I just simply click generate, and in a few seconds it will create an image for me to add into my resume if I wanted to, if it's something that fits the job description that I'm going for. If not, best to leave it out. But you can see here there's a bunch of AI generated images. It took less than a minute, and I could choose one of these. This probably goes with my color scheme. And if I don't like the background there, I can use the tools here, which are really, really easy and nice to use. This remove background I use a lot, every single day, I would say. So if I just remove the background, it'll take out that white square and hopefully the text as well. There we go. And now that just looks a lot cleaner to put there instead of the white square around it. If I didn't like something in this image, I could erase it. Let's say I don't like this blue dot here, or this dot, or maybe this flag's a bit much for me. Maybe I don't even want this one. I can simply do as I please with that. If I wanted that part back, I could just click the undo button at the top, and I could make my brush smaller and just go in there and clean it up and really get detailed with my edits. So yeah, those are really nice tools to have. There's of course the remove object as well. So if I remove something here, it's brought the background back on. Let's say I want this text gone. It's going to take that out for me. And then it's going to either generate it with a fill option, or it's just going to completely remove it altogether. We are short on time, so it's not loading as fast as I would like, but just to, oh, there we go. So it's taken out that text, it's kept the background, and it's given me 3 different options to include. So I'll keep that one, and I can close that. I could also insert an object if I wanted to duplicate this. I could use this image as my background, and this is across all templates, right? Obviously, this doesn't look very good on a CV, so I will undo that. But on any of the templates, I could use that function, and I could also generate similar images to the one that I've just included as well. Now, if you don't want someone to manually edit everything, we are going to get into the branding in a bit. But that's just a quick show and tell of what you can do with creating a CV. If we go back to my folder here in Adobe Express, I've also created a cover letter. A lot of companies are phasing this out, but some it is a requirement. And what I did with this one, I also used a template. So all of this text was already in there. and I changed the colors and kept it very simple, but this design was as is. I just changed the job title over here. So I made that a product marketing intern, if that's what I was applying for. I added in my personal email address, and that's literally as simple as just typing it out. And it can go there. I can play around with the different text. It will either recommend fonts to me over here to make it look a bit cleaner. I could make, choose from this list over here as well. And I can make it bigger if I really want it to stand out. And just go through all of the different edits that I could do there. Now, because obviously Adobe Express wants to make it as easy as possible to generate things using AI, this letter has everything you need. So it's, it's building up the company, saying I was intrigued by you, you were the best company to work with in the Southwest, you're eco-friendly and I appreciate your design. And I've noticed that you're actively recruiting in health and safety specialists. So obviously this was originally for someone who was going to be a health and safety specialist. So I would just have to edit this text to fit my role, but it's got everything you need. Please contact me with questions you have, got my contact details and everything that you would need over there. And again, that is as simple as just going and searching over here for, sorry, it's taking a little while to load, but searching for a letter. So there's thank you letters, there's all kinds of templates there. These don't fit a job role. So I'm going to make that a cover letter search. Oh. And there immediately that goes to a bunch of professional looking templates. Whichever one catches your eye, you can choose. This one's almost got learning curve colors, so it caught my eye. And I could just easily edit all of this information again. Here, it's exactly what you need. I'm applying for the role of a copy editor. Tells you where it was advertised. I've enclosed my resume, a little bio and responsibilities, and a thank you at the end, as well as a signature there. Again, all of this is editable. If you decide that you don't like these icons, you can easily delete them completely. You could take out this line, whatever you want to do. Maybe I don't need the address and I want to bring this up higher. Just deleted the address and bring the letter text up a bit higher. Because of that, I need to bring my signature up, and this is all just drag and drop as I go, and I will sign it as me, Die Frost, and then I'll put it more in line with everything else there. I could also change the colors over here as we did earlier, so that's as easy as clicking this, clicking on the left to those colors, and choosing from any of these, or again, there is that custom feature where I could go, let's say I'd like a more peachy color. I can easily do that and then do the same at the top. And that color from the bottom is there immediately because it's in use. So I could choose that line. I could press Shift and click all of these icons as well. Oops, can't see what I'm doing. And click all of those. Can't do it with a line because it's a different element, but just these ones, and change those to the same colors on the documents in literally a few clicks. So it really is easy to get started with applying for traditional job roles and doing everything that you need. But we know that a lot of people are leaning towards entrepreneurship. We know that people have side hustles because it is so difficult out there. And so it's very, very important to think about one's brand, what that looks like, what their identity is. And in Adobe Express, you'll see I've got my home, I've got my stuff, which is all of my files. So this is things I've been working on recently. Here's my folder that I've made specifically for today, and different folders that I use all the time in my work. I can also access the templates from the search down here. But if I click more over here, I can go to brands. And what I can do here is I can create a brand and apply that to any template that I'm working with. So as you can see, when I did Prof. Richard's training, we added his brand of KNUST. I've added mine that I'll be working with in a little bit. I've also got my personal brand and learning curve. If you want to add in a brand, it's very easy. So you just say create brand over here, and I want to do manual setup. And I just need to name my brand. So for example, if I'm Prof. Richard and I've spent 9 months supporting Man City, and now I'm very embarrassed because Arsenal won, and I want to change teams and put their branding everywhere, I can easily do that. So I'm just going to name the brand Arsenal and create it. And that's going to create that little tile that we saw there, and you'll see it now again. So I can add my brand logo, graphics, colors, and fonts. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to add my logo. Just click on logo, upload the logo. It's Prof. Richard's favorite logo ever. He told me privately. And now you'll see I need to add my colors to my color palette. And what it's done is I didn't have to go looking for the codes and numbers of these colors at all. It's drawn them out for me, and I can just click Create Palette. And then once I've got my logo and my colors, I want to think about the fonts I'm going to use. So I'm just going to add fonts, and I can go through whichever catch my eye here. I quite like that one, and I will divide it into headings. And then I want to add another font. So I will choose this one, and it will take me to a body font. And if I add another one, it will group it separately for me as well. Let's keep them along the same lines over here. So I'll go for this one. And there it's given me a secondary body font. And if you wanted to change these around, you could delete them, you could edit them. If I wanted to make it a header, I just click edit. And then I've got 2 header options instead. And for graphics, I can also add images. Obviously with something like a soccer club, they use the same images as their logo. And then I've got everything I need. So I've got my logo, my colors, my fonts, my graphics, and I just click add there. Oh, sorry, if I wanted to add more. Otherwise, I just go back to brands over here, and you can see my newly created Arsenal brand is there. Now, if I wanted to use that on anything that I'm working with, obviously with employability for students, it's very important that all of your assets look the same so that it becomes recognizable with your name. So I could easily go and I could say I want to create, let's say I want to create a social media post. So I browse my Instagram templates. They've got Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, LinkedIn. You can even do ads for Amazon, display ads wherever you need it. But I could go through them over here and see what I'm looking for. Let's say I want to sponsor a soccer event or create a soccer event. So I just search soccer or football, depending on where you are. And I'm going to choose this one. And now, instead of changing all these colors manually, changing the text, everything like that, I just click on my template. I click on more over here. I go to brands. I choose Arsenal. And at the top there, I just click apply brand. And immediately it's changed the colors. It's changed the font that's being used. Obviously, I just need to make these a bit smaller so everyone can see, but that's simply dragging and dropping over there. Same with at the top. If I'm not happy with the first result, I can simply click it again and apply my brand. There's more colors coming through. This does have an image over it, so it will look a bit purple, but if I deleted that, you could see the Arsenal colors more clearly, and I can keep going until I'm happy with what it looks like. So there we go. That looks much more like the colors. And I can also change out this image as with our other images, or move it around. And I could easily change the effects as well. So I can see this one has a grayscale on it. So I'm going to say no tones, none over here, and just make it so we can see his face. And I can also just pull this in to a different design there. And within a few seconds, I've got everything I need for my soccer shop, if I'm selling soccer jerseys as my side hustle. And it really is as easy as that with everything that you need to do. Now, to get a logo of your own, you can easily design that. As you saw, I added the Arsenal logo there. But if I go back to my brands and I show you my brand that I've created just for today, I decided as my side hustle, I need to have a bakery. So I've called it To Die For, which is obviously a pun of my name. And I made this logo in Adobe Express, which gave me my colors. And then I chose my fonts and added my graphic as we did with the Arsenal brand that we added just now. But now if I wanted to create a logo, I'm not too sure how to start or where to do it. Adobe Express also does that for you in just a few seconds. So all you do is you search for a logo, and I want to go there for a little logo to make. And it immediately gives me all of these options on the left-hand side. And if mine's a bakery, so I will say bakery. And I can choose whichever catches my eye. There's quite a few, there's some funky ones, there's some traditional ones, and you can go through whichever you like and edit those as well. So here I could change these colors. Again, just going with, maybe I want to change this to blue, and I want this donut to be the pink, so it's not too much of a drastic change. And then I'll make this text blue as well here. And it's that easy to create a logo that I want. If I don't like this, I can delete it. And I could simply add an element, and I will go to icons, and I will search for a cookie. And there we go. I've got all of these different elements over here. I could also grab a design asset. So there's lots of different things here. I could have a background, but that would obviously take up the whole page. There's shapes, well, no shapes for cookies, but if you're looking for like a square or anything like that, that would be there. And you can just grab one of these. And then I can add an effect to this cookie, because for me, the brown doesn't really go with the pink and the blue. So I've just dragged it to make it a bit bigger. I'll throw on an effect there. I really like this jewel tone one because it will change the colors to ones that I want. So often, if I would like the pink back again, I can easily do that, and I can make the highlights the same color so that I don't have that weird green. And within 2 seconds, I have my logo. And then I'm going to name it logo. So it's very easy. Express does autosave everything you're doing. So I will just type in logo 2 and save it. And then if I want to download this, I click download, and I can choose whether I want it in PNG or JPEG, which is just a smaller file of an image. I could even have it as a PDF or a printed PDF. And then I will choose PNG, so it's a bit higher res, and download that. If I'm not sure if it looks great, so I want feedback from a friend, I could easily share my work, so it's a great collaboration space as well. And if I know someone's email, let's say I want Kelly, who's my graphic designer in the company, or our graphic designer, to edit this, I could either add in her email address here, and it will email her. There we go, it's brought her up. And I'll say, please have a look at this. And I could invite her to edit. If I only want her to comment and not change anything, I can also change that to comment. And when I send invite to comment, that's going to send an email straight to Kelly. If I don't want to do that and I'd rather send her one over Teams, I can just copy the link and change the access. So it could be anyone or only invited people. And again, just changing whether they can edit or comment or not. Then you can see you can also share it to your Google Drive. Scheduling posts, so social media scheduling. I could convert it to a template. There's many things that you can do. But for the sake of time, I'm just going to take you through the assets that I've created. So obviously, when you start a side hustle, you need to think about things like a business plan, which is also available for you as a template. So I could search business plan. Let's say I want Glenn to give me some money. Oh, sorry, I'm searching in the wrong stuff here. So I want a business plan. I need money from Glenn. He says, show me what your idea is. And because it's a side hustle, I'm still a student, it's just before working, I'm going to look at all of these different templates. And this one is simply what I need. So I just customize the template. I need my financial planning. I need the products and services that I offer. I'll give an executive summary, marketing strategy, budget and services. Obviously, this is not in my brand that I would like. So I'm going to go to brands. And I want to apply my baking brand to this. And I'll just give it a few seconds. There we go. It's obviously hidden the font because that was in green. So I need to quickly just click the brands again and get it to change. And now all of this text is obviously in white. So I'm going to change that to gray. Now you can see everything that I needed there. Here as well, we can make that gray. And in the middle, if you can't find the text you're looking for, on the right, you will see all of the layers that you have over here. So here I'm just going to choose the plan and the business. And I'm also going to change this to gray so that we can have a look at them. I don't really need the sticker here, so I'll delete that. Oops. Delete that sticker. And now I can send this to Glenn once I've edited what I'm adding into it. The next thing I would want to do after I've planned my business is to get going with marketing. So I need people to know about my business. So here's my logo that I created, as I showed you how to make a logo rather. Now I want to market my business. Let's say I'd like to start with posters out on campus. So this was also a template that I just edited. I've got freshly baked goods every morning. It's from my oven to your table. Here's everything I offer. And I've added a QR code as well, which I'll show you how to make in a bit. My graphics and my logo. And then if I wanted my logo again for easy access, it's just right there. Very simple. All I did for this, Adobe Express also has spell check, as you can see. It doesn't want these letters capitalized, so that's why they're underlined. But I just edited the name from another logo, and I just added baked goods at the bottom, and it was that easy to make my marketing and everything like that. So just to show you on that QR code generator side of things, I simply click here and I go QR code. Now I can make one, and I can choose if I want it to be black, blue, orange, red, green. I can change the design as well. I could change the border if I wanted to, but I'm just going to keep it simple. And I will add in learning curves for now. And in a matter of seconds, it's generated a QR code for me. And I can either put it straight onto a template as it's suggested for me. There's menus, there's different things. You know, if you're a graphic designer, this is to a portfolio. Or I could just download it and use it later and add it to my poster, which is really great. Then what I'm also going to need is I want to market on social media. So I need to create an Instagram post or a Facebook post or TikTok, a reel. So starting with a static post, I've obviously taken off my QR code because I don't want that on social media. That's where people are already scrolling, so they won't have their phone to be able to take a photo of it. And now I've got a beautiful Instagram post that I've just used a template for as well. I changed the text to my brand and I changed this image. And if I wanted to use this for a poster as well, I could simply resize it. And on the side here, you'll see if you know the dimensions, that's great, but most people don't. So I want to change this to my flyer rather. So I just click flyer and that will resize for me and give me different options on the left. Now there is sometimes some editing needed. Obviously now we're going on to a bigger canvas. So I'm going to choose this one and I'll keep it. And I need to just move things around a bit. So this is again that drag and drop. I'll put that in the middle. I think this should be a bit bigger. So I'll grab both of these, press shift so it groups them and just pull it up like that. And I'll move this stuff around as well. Obviously this is a bit too small now. So I need to find the layer behind it. So go to the right hand side and I make that bigger over there. Moving my text across as well. And I obviously need to tell people where they can get my delicious brownies that I've baked. And that's at the link in my bio because this is now on social media. If I wanted to pull these two down together again, I could just simply group them, grabbing that behind and grabbing that and pulling it down. And then obviously moving this text down as well. And I have room to make my logo a bit bigger as well, which is really nice. And there again, in a couple of seconds, I have a different format of a post that I've already made, which is great. Also, on the entrepreneurial side of things, there's more social media stuff. So this is an Instagram reel. With this, it is quite literally a template that I found for another bakery. All I did was add in my logo up here. I didn't even add in my logo, sorry, I changed the text. So I could change this to anything. So let's say I want to make it, let's say just the bakery. I simply change the text. I like that icon, so I'll keep it in. And this template came with everything I needed. So baked fresh every day. It's got a product image there for me. This was in dollars because it's an American template. So I changed it to rands over here in South Africa, 35 rand. And you'll see I only added my own bit at the end. Now I've given you my face. I've told you who I am and I've told you where you can find me. This is Learning Curve's address, so if you want to ever pop in, you're welcome to. But that's just my own spin that I added on. Everything else was already in this template. And this was as easy as grabbing something from here. So I went to search and I looked for address. And I went down here. There's design assets that I can use. There's stickers. I can view all of these. I could use icons, backgrounds. I could easily add one of these in. And I just grabbed one of those, put my name, put my photo, and it was as simple as that. Another thing that is really, really helpful in Adobe Express is expanding your marketing. So let's say now I don't just want to sell my products. I now want to have a sourdough masterclass. This was a template also that I used. It was originally for just a baking masterclass. And I edited this text to focus on sourdough, just typing that in. Obviously, this was this morning over here. I put in the price. I let people know where they could sign up. And I changed this image. So even if I wanted to change it again now, I could click the image, replace. I'll go to photos. And let's say I'd rather do a brownie class. And I can literally just pick, oh, these look nice. pick one of these images. Obviously, I don't want a huge block on the background. So I'll just click the image and remove the background. And I can just change the size of that. And I can even, if I'd like to, just change the positioning. So down here on the left, I click flip, and it's immediately got the brownies the other way. I think it'd look better the other way, so I'll flip that. And I'm just going to crop this other brownie out and just have those over there. And it's literally that simple. And I just change it to brownie making class, masterclass. And it's literally that simple to just do all of your marketing as an entrepreneur in Adobe Express. Another great thing that you can do is you can create a landing page for a website. So now I've put my flyers up, I've grown my business, I've advertised on social media, had my masterclasses. Now I'm ready to start my own cafe because everyone just loves everything that I make. And I'm going to do that on a web page in Adobe Express. So as this loads, I'm just going to show you that this is a template that I haven't yet edited. I don't think I've expanded from brownies and sourdough to pizzas just yet. But to do this, it's very simple. This is just to show you everything it comes with. There's a background image, there's menu, subtitle, hours. This is literally a template from Adobe Express. And if you didn't want to do a food-based one, let's say maybe your side hustle is something different, like marketing, I just simply search the web pages. I can choose whether I want a blog, whatever type I want to look for. But let's say that I want to do digital marketing as my side hustle, or just, let's say, a blog. And then I'm going to either have personal, business, I could make a portfolio of my work as a digital marketer. And I just go through all of these different templates. I could create my own from scratch, but obviously it is much easier to use the tools we already have. So let's say I want a business one, and I'm going to use this one for my digital marketing company. Now everything here is editable. I can add things in if I wanted to. So I could add another photo, text, I could add a button, and I want my button to say contact me. And I could have a URL here. Again, I'll just use the learning curve one, so people know how to get in touch with me, but probably an email is better there. I want it centered, and I'm going to save that, and immediately I've got my button there. If I don't like this photo, I can replace it, and that's given me images to choose from here, or I could upload one from my device. I could also generate an image here as well, but for the sake of time, I will just choose one here. Maybe an orange one is a bit better, and it's just going to bring that into focus now. And if I find that it's a bit too long, then I could make it short by saying short cover. I can change this text as well. I can change any of this. Again, these images can all be replaced. It's exactly the same as we have been doing throughout all the different templates. This text is also all editable. If you don't like something, you can also delete it. So let's say I don't think this part's really for me. I could just take this out and delete it there. And it will simply disappear once I've taken that away. And it's a scrolling site, so it's coming up one by one. But it's really, really nice. And you can use this URL that it will create. So I'm going to call this digital marketing. And I know how to find that now in my Express folders. And I can use this landing page and send it to someone else, and they will use this as a functioning website. You can't edit the URL, so it will say that it's an Adobe Express site, but it's just a really nice thing to have as well. There's also a bunch of different things you can do. So let's say that you'd like to edit videos. Maybe you want to do your marketing more in depth. You can create a business card, a newsletter, more logos, even a media kit. Any documents that students may need as well. So, you know, as much as they're going out into and they want to be prepared for the workforce, they are still working on things. So perhaps they need to create an infographic. There's tons of templates for that as well. And there's also research proposals. Anything you can think of is in Adobe Express, and it's an amazing, amazing tool. Before I wrap up, I also just want to show you, as Carla was showing you in Studio, you can create those presentations very easily. It's the same in Adobe Express, so you can generate a presentation in under 2 minutes. And I've just gone to click Generate Presentation. I'm going to upload a folder, or file rather, and I'm going to go to my desktop. And I want to talk about Adobe Express. I actually want to talk about this one. So now I've just jotted down some notes that I want to talk about in a presentation. And I've uploaded that in a Word document. You can do it with a PDF as well. You can do it with various formats. And I will say, generate a presentation for, oh, here we go. It's given me prompts as well. For an engaged professional audience, I can customize the length as well. So it's a short, medium, or long slides. I'll make it short. I can choose my audience here. So let's say that I would like this to be university students. And I want this to be detailed. As much detail in as few slides as possible. There we go, on creating digital or career-ready digital identities. I simply click Next. Then I can choose one of these templates, whichever one catches my eye. Don't worry about the colors. You don't have to be attached to them. You can choose whichever one you like and edit that around as you'd like. I'll choose this one. Next. It's going to generate a preview. So it's telling me why visibility matters, how we can get from student to standout, building your identity, creating the assets, showing proof, and I can move these around. Let's say, I don't think that this should really be over here. I think that we should rather turn this up here instead of the use fast, and I can just drag and drop that around as I needed. Obviously the start before you graduate, it needs to be at the end. Then I just click generate and it's going to bring up a presentation for me. It literally does just take a few minutes. I don't think it's ever taken more than 2 minutes for me. And it comes with all of these images, the layout that you've chosen, there's timelines, whatever you need. And again, that is all editable. And as soon as it loads, I'll quickly show you that, and then I will be done with my presentation. I think I cursed it by saying it never takes longer than 2 minutes. But yeah, it's going to bring up a nice presentation for me. It's giving me all the detail I need. It's put in an agenda. Again, all of this information is going to be filled in for me. So what I'm doing is just reviewing what it's created. I don't have to manually enter all of the information, but you do need that human element just to check over it. So as that loads, we can see it's brought in a bunch of different elements. So it's brought in my name, it's given me a heading, it's given me a subheading, and I can change the colors if I'd like. So now, of course, I want to apply my brand because that's how people are going to recognize me. So I'm just going to say apply brand. Now it's immediately made it my colors. It's made it my fonts that I've chosen. If I wanted to add in my logo, just click logo. Now everyone can see what I'm doing over here and identify me and the baking person, and just go through all of the different slides. Now it's not going to make them all look the same. We need it to be changed up. So here it's got these images. I'm not a fan of this font, so I'm just going to change it. Here's my fonts that I added to my brand. And that just makes it a lot cleaner to change those. Changing the images, again, I just click replace at the top and I can choose from different photos here. So let's say students, and I could use this image over here and it automatically changes that for me. I didn't have to drag it anywhere or make sure it was in the right place. Same over here. Also, if I didn't want this image, I just simply right click and delete it. And I change this text to be a bit longer here. And it's taken everything that I told it to put in and made it a beautiful presentation, very similar to Carla's, but it's just made it exactly what I've needed along the way. And I can also, let's say, oh, this is too long, I don't want the slide, I just delete it. And yeah, those are, there's a lot that Adobe Express can do, but I think those are the key components to cover for students, especially if they're going to be entrepreneurs and as they head towards graduation. So sorry, I know I did run a bit over time, but I get really excited by Express. And we do offer training at Learning Curve on Express if you would like to go into more detail on that. So thank you so much for your time. I'm not sure if there are any questions.
Sure. Thank you very much. All right. So there are no questions in the chat. I don't know if anyone has a question. Kindly show by hand if there's any question, please.
I do just want to mention, sorry, before we move on, the Adobe's AI, keeping your information safe, not training it anywhere, is across all of their products. So any of the AI stuff that I use there, my information's not going to go outside of me in Adobe Express. It's all safe, it's all ethical. If you use the images there, they're licensed, so you're not going to get in trouble for adding those into a presentation or anything like that. So that AI promise is across all of our products. And yeah, just a reminder on the competition, please do enter, and I will hand back to you now. Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right. So I think if there's a final presentation before we bring the entire session to an end, and that is by Professor Richard Boama, who is from the Ghana Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, which we call KNUST. So he will be talking about the Adobe journey, which is more or less a testimonial of how they've implemented Adobe products in their institution. So just a quick bio of Professor Boama. Boama is a professor in water treatment technologies with about 30 professional experience in water supply and environmental quality monitoring. He is currently instrumental in building capacity in water supply and sanitation. He is presently the director of the Regional Water and Environmental Sanitation Center in Kumasi, KNUST, and I see that Vicky has placed some of the links in there regarding some of the implementation that Professor Boama is undertaking over there. So Professor Boama, if you are, please proceed and then we can call it a day. Thank you.
Sorry, please, yeah, let me ask, please show thumbs up if you can see my screen. Yeah, I'm sharing the screen. Yeah. So as it has been introduced, Richard Boama from the Regional Water and Environmental Sanitation Center, KNUST Kumasi. And I want to share this afternoon with you some experiences that we've had with Learning Curve and some training sessions that we've gone through with them. And I'll quickly take us through this agenda, just introduction, what is our core mandate as a research institution, a research center, and one of the Center of Excellence that was funded by the World Bank. And also we take us through our experiences so far as the water sector is concerned, the challenges that we've been encountering, and the reason why we engage Adobe Express, we engage Learning Curve, for assistance in building capacity. And then the advanced digital tools and innovation and applications that the learning curve help take our people through. So as we all know, the challenges in the water or in the water sector is very fragmented and is emerging with the rapid population growth and issues like climate change, urbanization, industrialization, inadequate infrastructure, all these, and also anthropogenic induced activities, all these have brought about a lot of issues, challenges in the water sector, and it calls for a very efficient effort to be able to deal and to be able to tackle these problems. So these multiple challenges require a holistic approach to be able to effectively deal with it. And you will agree with me that marine and freshwater ecosystems even face risks of biodiversity, economical problem, access to water, potable water, drinking water. Various parts, various regions in the world lack access to safely managed water and even sanitation as well. And there is limited infrastructure in this particular sector. And the skills gap keeps on widening. So, and with the limited infrastructure and shortage of high caliber of personnel to deal with this, issues, it tends to hinder effective wash solutions. And we here at REST has it as our mission and vision to advance knowledge in the wash sector and research into developing water supply technologies and sanitation management. We undertake researches in this area for sustainable development. And in addition to that, our major core mandate is to build capacity through research, teaching, mentorship, and skill training. And all these align very well and ties in with the SDG Goal 6, which directly supports universal and equitable access to safe, affordable drinking water. So with this ambition in mind, we intend to really advance research and come up with innovative ideas to drive impactful, research in the wash sector and empower our faculty, not only our faculty, even we brought on board the administrative staff and our students. We intend to mentor them so much to make them employable, to imbibe into them these innovative ideas and how they can, we had the ambition to integrate AI into their day-to-day critical thinking activities to make them more creative in the ecosystem for skill development and professional growth. And in order to encourage this innovation and critical thinking, we have to uplift and it calls for a paradigm shift in the way we tutor them, in the way we mentor them, in the way we equip them with knowledge to make our students market ready. So this calls for digital transformation in the education space, because with the emerging technologies, AI can help reshape our research and our learning prowess and environment as well. So in the field studies, in outreaches, where when students are attached to various industries for their internship training, we intend to leverage on these digital tools and interactive and adaptive learning to improve upon their skills. And also,
sorry to cut you, Professor Boama. Is it possible to put your presentation in slideshow? Some of our participants can't seem to follow. Yes, thank you very much.
Is it okay now?
Yes, please. Thank you.
Okay. So we intended to instill into our students digital fluency and adaptability to thrive on evolving context. So in order to do this, it calls for teamwork, it calls for global networking to foster transformative growth. So in view of this, in order to achieve this ambition, we engage in learning curve. In actual fact, our paths crossed during one of the AAU organized workshops in Morocco, somewhere, I think October last year, 2025. Yeah. And also from there, we were in Zambia also as well. And so we engaged Learning Curve to roll out this Adobe Express training models for us. And Di Frost was one of the main resource persons, and together with her team, they took us through various models that help us to, uplift our professional branding mastery. And in these models, as she just, took us through some of these models, we had the opportunity to develop standout resume, CVs, portfolios with the Adobe Express. And also we were able to enhance our institutional visibility through digital branding. And in various ways, strategic digital communication skills, how you can tailor and customize messages and translate text into images using existing templates, and you can also generate your own template and leverage on that to enhance your social image and digital channels and project promotion. These hurdles helped our students, and for a matter of fact, even our alumni students joined in this training. And the feedback that we got from them, that these enhanced their entrepreneurial skills, their visibility out there, their networking, and they were able to position themselves for the job market. So these creative storytelling and event promotion went a long way to help integrate even video storytelling to boost the engagement in WASH initiatives. It also, as I've mentioned already, it helped to foster critical thinking and innovative mindset for employability for our students as they come out into the real world. Not only did they, take us through how to incorporate or how to translate text into images, but also we were also equipped with the skill to create, podcasts for collaborations. And this helped our students to design engaging audio content with integrated visuals for impactful storytelling. And every now and then, Di and her team will be giving you hands-on tidbits, and these also enhance the creativity and connectivity of our participants. With regards to the entrepreneurial skill, depending upon the segment of the market that you are targeting, or you want to maybe develop a product and put it out there, these training models further enhance our innovative approaches in marketing and how to pitch your business also out there, and to make it available and visible for your audience or your targeted customers. One thing we realized was that there is a tendency for students to just dwell only on AI, and if you're not careful, just use AI to really replace what effort that they need to put in. So here, we're also careful to ensure that the AI, features and tools will not come to replace the normal thinking prowess or the normal creative prowess of students. So what we did, or what we've been doing, is that we always coach these students to ensure that they apply these AI features rather to augment what they know to do, the principles and concepts that they've been tutored in classroom. The AI is just coming in to supplement and to help them to free it better, to help them to nurture them, so that ideas that they have, they can incubate them and then translate them into enterprises at the end of the day, so that they'll be more impactful in the WASH sector. So these tools that they've been exposed to sort of made students more efficient, especially with the PDF workflows, editing, back processing, and so it makes the student more productive. over here, with our students' numbers increasing, because at KNUST, we have a student population well in excess of 80,000. So you realize that the faculty members over here have that Herculean task to be able to reach out to each and monitor effectively the progress of the students. But you realize that these Adobe Express, features have tools that will enhance, that helps faculty members to be able to engage with students, even at times one-on-one, and be able to monitor and evaluate and assess their progress. So these help the faculty members. It helps to lessen the burden on faculty members, and it makes us more efficient in our delivery on our mandates. For the learning ecosystem and also making our students' future, ready for the job market. You realize that as Di just took us through, there are features and tools that help to promote that self-paced access, to recorded versions of these flexible, review sessions. There are recorded templates or existing templates or versions that helps you even to develop your own videos, your podcast, as I've mentioned earlier. So it helps to create that mastery and for the students to be able to position themselves and make them more visible and more efficient in their works or in various disciplines of study. So skill upgrading and career readiness have been promoted, and portfolios and resume workshops that boost visibility in the job market have all been made available to the students. And with these hands-on training, they are better positioned, and it has set the tone for them to be employable and to be able to rub shoulders with their peers out there. So quickly, in a nutshell, as RESC, our faculty members, our students, our alumni, administrative staff, having gone through these sessions, these models, the feedback that we got from them, a lot of them, or let me say largely, most of them were so much enthused, and it inspired them to be able to, to learn more about these Adobe Express training models. And they have they've become ambassadors for these kind of applications. They are telling their peers in other colleges, other institutions about what learning curve have to offer. So we are of the view that maybe those of us in the AAU, those of us in the academic space, I think if we can integrate these tools, these AI tools, although we have to use them responsibly, if we can integrate them into our pedagogy, the course content, how we deliver on our mandate, it will go a long way to help our students, to imbibe into our students, the prowess that we need to be able to nurture them well for the real world situations. So the digital tools and the future skills that we need our students to be very much conversant with, I think Adobe Express has that capacity to be able to help us instill into our students the necessary knowledge that they need. So this ongoing training and global networking and drive will ensure transformative growth in the WASH sector. And in addition to that, inclusive policies and infrastructure development will ensure equitable access. And in the WASH sector, you know that with water, with sanitation, with hygiene, it touches on various dimensions in the human life, in public health, food security, and in the economical development of a nation, of a region. So if we are able to train our students with the skills and the prowess that they need, they'll become very impactful agents in the WASH sector for the future. On this note, I want to express my gratitude to all of you for your time. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Professor Boama, for that wonderful presentation. Hello, guests. If there are any questions, any comments, please there's a chance. You are free to communicate that or comment. Okay. So it looks like there are no questions, no contributions at the moment. So without anything, then I think we'll just take some closing remarks from all our speakers, and then we can call it a day. So maybe we'll start from Glenn. Glenn, some closing remarks, then Graham, then Carla, then Di, and then we can call it a day, please. Any last words?
I just wanted to say thank you very much to all. Thank you for putting this together. There certainly was a lot to take in, and I'm sure the recordings are going to be well used afterwards to go through it. But very, very helpful, very practical, and appreciate everybody, Isaac, putting this together. I hope everybody benefited from what was shared this afternoon. Thank you.
Thank you, Glenn. Any last words? It's in no particular order, please.
Isaac, I think some of our speakers may have left already because they were commissioned for a certain amount of time.
Sure, no problem.
I don't think Graham's on the call, and I don't think Carla's on the call now.
Okay. All right. So, Di, would you like to share anything?
I just want to say thank you so much to everyone for their time and to the presenters as well. I think, as Glenn said, we did all learn a lot. Just on the free tools, there's a free version of Adobe Express. There are some limits, so you would obviously have to upgrade to get the premium features, but it is really nice if you'd like to play around before you're ready to commit to anything. So yeah, just on the free side, there's Student Spaces and there's Adobe Express at the moment. So play around as you will, and then we're here when you're ready for the long term.
Sure. Julie, I don't know if yourself you'd like to say anything, then maybe you can say the final.
Yeah, thank you, Isaac. Thank you for arranging it, and thank you guys for giving up your holiday. I think some of you are from Ghana, so it's a public holiday there. And I think what we've learned today is that as we continue to navigate digital transformation, it's no longer just about technology, but it's about enablement. And I think we have a solution that can help every one of your personas. So here to help, here to engage, reach out to us.
Sure. Thank you very much, Julie. So, to our distinguished guests and participants, and also to our partners, Learning Curve, I want to say a very big thank you on behalf of the AU and SG. A very big thank you for making today possible. And I believe the discussions have been worthwhile and very insightful. We've seen how to implement some of these tools to make our work much easier as an institution and as individuals as well. So this is the inaugural lecture. Kindly pardon my background noise that we are working from home today and renovation going on. So apologies for that. So this being the inaugural event, I believe that in the future there will be some other session that will be happening. So please look out in this session or in this space, and then we'll bring you some more in the future. Thank you very much, everyone, and see you later. Bye bye.